This conference will now be recorded.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, Vikram.
Okay. Okay, so in this session, what we will understand is new GL. Okay, there is one concept called as new GL accounting that we will discuss now. Okay, so what exactly is new GL accounting? See, this new GL concept came in 2005 or 2004. SAP introduced new GL accounting in 2004. So whatever transactions we have done till now, whatever postings we have done in AR, AP, GL, asset accounting, already new GL accounting was active in the background. Okay, so whatever transactions we have done on the new GL accounting only. But we just need to understand what exactly is new GL and what are the benefits of new GL compared to the previous functionality which was available before 2004. Okay, why I am telling you this is because normally if you're going for the interview, people ask you whether you know the new GL accounting or not. So it should not happen that although you worked on new GL accounting, you should not say no, we never heard this terminology. That is the reason you must know what is new GL, what are the things involved in new GL, and we will see one by one how you can verify whether that particular functionality is active in our system or not. Okay, so this new GL accounting, as I told you, was introduced in year 2004. In this new GL accounting, SAP provided new features. Okay, what are those new features? Number one, real-time integration between FI and CO. So we understood from day one, FI and CO, these are two different components, right? FI is used for the external reporting and CO is used for the internal reporting, right? So whatever postings we do in FI, AP, AR, GL, that is for the external reporting purpose. That is a legal requirement. In CO, we have cost centers, profit centers, internal reporting, which is not mandatory to be submitted to the authorities. It is just for our own information. So what was happening before 2004, FI and CO being the two separate components, whenever I post any values to FI, it was not in real time going to CO. Maybe at the end of the day, at the end of 10 days, at the end of 15 days, the values from FI were going to the CO. Similarly, whenever you post in CO, the values in FI were coming under the batches. So you need to perform some month-end activities, then only the FI and CO will match. Right? So it was not like I posted the document in FI, it is automatically going to CO, or I posted the document in CO, it is automatically going to FI. There were a lot of manual activities which were required to transfer the data from FI to CO and CO to FI. Right? But with this 2004 onwards, SAP made it real-time postings, which means documents as soon as it is posted to FI, it will move to CO. As soon as it is posted to CO, it can be moved to FI. Okay, so since we are already using SAP S/4HANA, we are already using real-time integration. So even not only FI and CO reconciliation, now if you remember, I also told you in SAP S/4HANA, FI and CO are using same tables. That is AC doc A, right? You heard about AC doc A, we have seen one of the session. The table which is storing the data of FI and CO has been merged. Even the GL account and cost element, which were two separate master data, that is also merged. So number one is real-time integration between FI and CO. So if someone is asking you what is new GL accounting, so you should remember to tell these features that in traditional system, if I go before 2004, if I'm not using new GL accounting, then there are manual activities that I need to carry out in order to move the data from FI to CO component or CO to FI component. When I'm using new GL accounting, once the new GL accounting is activated, I will get the real-time reconciliation between FI and CO. And now in S/4HANA, FI and CO are no two more separate components. They are merged together. So even the master data is same and the table which is storing the data is also same. That is AC doc A. Okay, clear on the first point? What is real-time integration between FI and CO? Okay, let's talk about the second point. Second point is segment reporting. What is segment reporting? So one is legal reporting. You do the legal reporting at the company code level, right? It is very much important that whatever balance sheet, profit and loss you are creating, that has to be created at the company code level, which is your legal entity, right? But there are some countries where you not only need to submit the data at the legal entity level, you need to submit the data at the segment level also. Okay, if I give the example, segment means what? Segment means it can be the product segment or it can be the regional segment. So for example, if I take an example of a regional segment, what will happen is, let's say if a company is in US, so they need to report based on the north region, south region, similarly west and east. This is just an example, so we don't know what is the exact requirement in which of the country, but there was a requirement of doing the segment level reporting. So whenever they are submitting the reports, balance sheet should not only be submitted at the company code level, but you need to submit your balance sheet, profit and loss at this regional level also. If it is product wise, so if a company is dealing into 2 or 3 different products, so product wise they also need to submit the reports to the government. This is not internal. See, one we understood internal. Profit centers are internal, which means you can create a profit center and we can do the reporting. But that profit center reporting is for our internal purpose, that we are not submitting to the outside agencies. But this particular one, this is from the legal requirement point of view. And that is the reason this segment, if you remember, we discussed that profit center is assigned to the segment. You remember that? Let me show you. I'm not able to open the server. Something wrong. Okay, so if you go to SPRO and in the enterprise structure, in the definition, financial accounting, this defined segment was not available earlier. This came only after new GL accounting. So one of the feature of new GL accounting is you can do the segment level reporting. How you will do it? So have you created segments earlier? When we have seen the normal FICO, have we created the segments? Okay. What is segment?
No.
Yeah, segment can be anything. As I told you, it can be regional segment, it can be product segment. So what you need to do is you need to create a segment first here. It is just like a new entry, your segment code and your segment description. And then this segment can be assigned to the profit center. So if you go to KE52 for any of the profit center which is already created. So if I go for controlling area, in our case is ABC. Is that ABC I or ABC 0? ABC I, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the profit centers that we created in our controlling area. There is only one, okay. And if I press enter, you can see at the end, the last field is segment. What happens is whenever you post anything in this profit center, it will also go to that particular segment. Okay, so each and every transaction is getting the segment, and at the end of the month, you can generate your report very easily. I'll show you how to generate the reports later on, financial statements, balance sheets. Okay, so that is part of the monthly activity that we'll do. But this is a new concept. So in profit center master data segment was introduced, and this segment can be created from enterprise structure. Right, so this is point number 2, which was provided by SAP in new GL accounting. So first thing is real-time integration between FI and CO. Second thing is segment reporting. Thing number 3 is ledger-based concept, or you can call it as multiple, or maybe you can call it as parallel accounting. Okay, this is very important to understand. We will understand this in detail. What do you mean by parallel accounting? So currently ABCI, we created company code ABCI. ABCI is following which accounting principle? You know what are accounting principles? GAAP, IFRS, these are accounting principles, right? So we created ABCI. ABCI is following which accounting principle? We assigned GAAP. Yeah. So if you remember, if you go to the SPRO, IMG, okay, financial accounting global settings, ledger, right? This is where you assign the gap to our company code. So 0L ledger company code settings for our company code, which is ABCI, is assigned to gap. So what we told the system is we are following gap, India gap in company code ABCI. So this is following one accounting principle. Our company currently is following one accounting principle, that is gap. But now there are many companies who are not happy with one accounting principle. They want to do their reporting in multiple accounting principles. Okay, so let's say in addition to gap, I also want to follow IFRS. If I want to follow gap as well as IFRS, right? In addition to gap, I want to follow IFRS, then how this situation can be handled? Now, first of all, what is the difference between gap and IFRS? There can be multiple different scenarios. See, if the values are same, then there is no point in following two different approaches. So sometimes what happens is whenever you are doing any accounting transaction, the treatment is different in gap and in IFRS. Okay, I'll give you one simple example. Let's say you are purchasing an asset. Okay, let's say you are purchasing a vehicle. Okay, this is your asset. So when you purchase this asset vehicle, there was total cost of 10 lakh. Okay, there was total cost of 10 lakh plus there was delivery charges of 20,000. Okay, you can call it as a freight, delivery charges, or whatever you want. So what is the total cost of this asset? Is it 10 lakh or is it 10 lakh 20,000? Why 10 lakh 20,000? Because you are including the freight charges also. But now let's say GAP says no, 20 charges is not your asset, it is your expense. So according to GAP will say no, the value of this asset is only 10 lakh. On the other hand, IFRS says no, because 20,000 is related to the asset. You purchase the asset and this cost belongs to that asset. So that is the reason you need to include this cost in your asset itself. So there is a deviation. According to the definition of GAAP, freight should be considered. According to the definition of IFRS, freight should not be considered. So if I want to generate two different reports, if I want to generate the reports on GAAP, I should be able to see assets are 10 lakh. If I'm generating the report for IFRS, I should be able to see 10 lakh 20,000 as my asset. So the question is, how can I configure this thing in the system so that whenever I'm going for two separate reports, I'm able to see two different records? How can I control this? So one option is I create two separate GL accounts. Asset account for GAAP and asset account for IFRS. Okay, so what I'll do is whenever I'm making the posting in asset GAAP, I'll make the posting of 10 lakh. In asset IFRS, I'll be making the posting of 10 lakh 20,000. And at the end of the month or at the end of the year, if I want to generate the GAAP level report, I will consider this GL in that report. I'll not look at this GL. But if I'm generating the report for IFRS, I can go to this particular GL. I will not consider this GL in my report. This is called as when you are creating multiple accounts. When you are creating multiple accounts for different accounting principles, this is called as account-based approach, because you are creating multiple accounts to suit the different accounting principles. So in ECC, if you go before 2004, most of the time, whenever a company was having a need of having multiple accounting principles or having parallel accounting, they were following this approach. They were going for multiple accounts. Okay, but starting from 2004, when SAP introduced ledger-based concept, there will be only one GL. There will not be asset gap and asset IFRS. What will happen is whenever you are making the posting, it will ask you for GL and it will ask you for ledger. So if I generate the report for 0L, which is my gap, it will show 10,000. If I'm generating the same report for same GL account, but my, let's say, ledger is IF, then it will show me 10 lakh 20,000. Right? So this is to create multiple ledgers. So as of now, in our company code, because there was no need, from day one, we never discussed this topic. We never said there is a requirement of IFRS. We were only dealing with gap reporting with 0L. But if your company has a requirement that they want to follow multiple accounting principles, then starting from new GL accounting, it is possible to create multiple ledgers. Okay, so if I show you this particular screen, okay, so 0L is assigned to our company code, right? But if I come out completely and if I see what are the other ledgers available here, so SAP only provides one ledger. By default, SAP only provides one ledger, that is 0L. And by default, this is a ledger which is assigned to all company codes. We are not assigned it, right? Yes. If you create a new company code, just try to do this thing. Create a new company code. Go to this configuration. In 0L, you will be able to see your company code by default. You don't need to assign it. Your company code will automatically come here because 0L is a standard ledger which is delivered by SAP and it is a leading ledger. Leading ledger means there can be only one leading ledger. This is a question which comes many times in the exam. How many leading we can have multiple leading ledgers, true or false? Answer is no. By default, SAP provides only one leading ledger. Okay, and it is not possible to have multiple leading ledgers. Number two, second question which is asked in the exam is which is a default ledger which is pre-delivered with SAP, that is 0L. 0L is a by default leading ledger which is provided by SAP. Now, in addition to 0L, all these ledgers, what you are able to see, these are created by someone who is practicing in the system. You can also create it, right? So these are not the ledgers which are provided by SAP by default. SAP only provides one single ledger, that is 0L. Okay. So now in this particular case, if I need to have a separate ledger for IFRS, I have to first create that ledger. Okay, and if it is already there, it is not necessary that the code should be IF. You can give any two-digit code, and you have to assign that ledger to IFRS later on, right? So let's see if there is any ledger which we can already use. If there is IF already created here, okay, IF is already created for IFRS. Normally, this you will not find by default. If you want, you have to create it in the customer's system. Okay, and here, if I go to IFRS and if I click on the company code setting, but there is one more thing that you need to see, the ledger type. Okay, there are multiple ledger types. We will come to this later on, but what I'm doing is I'm not using the standard ledger which is already created by someone. I'll create my own new ledger for IFRS purpose. Okay, so let's say I will click on the new entry and I'll create 0I. I means IFRS. 0I for IFRS. This is not a leading ledger, so I'll not take this. Okay, and this I'll keep it as standard. Click on save. So no digits can be used for the first character. Okay, it is not allowing 0, I think. So maybe FI or something. Okay, so instead of IF, I'm creating FI because IF is already created. So I created a new ledger called as FI. But this FI, have I assigned it to my company code? So the second thing is, I will select this FI, double click on the company code settings. And this is where I need to specify that this ledger will be used in which company codes. It is not necessary that this ledger will be used in all company codes. Leading ledger is by default available in all company codes. I cannot say, oh, okay, in my company code, I don't want to use leading ledger. Not possible. Leading ledger is must. If you are not using leading ledger, this means you are not doing any accounting, right? So if I want to use IFRS for my company code, I'll click on the new entries. I need to specify my company code here, whatever is your company code. So ABCI, enter, fiscal year variant. So whatever fiscal year variant we are using for reading, normally we will assign same, but it is possible to assign the separate fiscal year variant also. Okay, and I'm using posting period variant 001. Just press enter. Just click on yes. Yes. What it is saying is your company code is already having data. Normally, these ledgers can be created when you don't have any data. Like for example, whenever you are creating a new company code, you have still not posted any accounting document. Then only you can come here and you can create a new ledger. As of now, in our company code, there is already a lot of postings made. So it is not very straightforward. You can come here and you can add the ledger. Okay, so this thing you try in your own company code. Okay, you create one new company code where you instead one is 0L, obviously assign 0L to gap and create one new ledger for IFRS purpose and assign it to IFRS. Okay, so I'll show you the one which is already assigned, what how exactly it will behave. Okay, so this is how you need to specify the ledger settings. You are creating multiple ledgers for your company code. So one ledger will be used for GAAP, second ledger will be used for your IFRS reporting. Okay, so let me take one example in this one. So I'll go to ledger, just give me a minute. I will go to any other ledger, let's say A4, and let's see which company code is assigned to this ledger. So there are two company codes, 1800 and 1801. 01 is assigned to ledger A4, which means for this company code, there is one leading ledger, that is 0L, and there is one non-leading ledger, which is A4. Okay, so whenever I'll be making any posting in this company code, okay, let's try to do that. If I go for FB50, okay, change the company code to 1800. I hope all other settings are okay, otherwise it will throw a lot of errors. Let's see. Okay, so 14/12/2019. Let's see what are the GL accounts available for this company code. There is no data for this company code, so we cannot use this. Let me see if there is any other company code where I can use. Okay, the T code to come to this ledger setting is FINSC_ledger. So let's go to A7, or maybe let's see if there is anything else which I can use. Let's see A7. Same. A9. One person has created so many number of ledgers. Oh. Recording. Also 1800. Do you have any company code which you created but you have not posted anything? Or do you want me to create it quickly? Okay, let's quickly create a company code so that you are able to understand what I mean. Okay, so I'll create a new company code through enterprise structure, definition, financial accounting, and create a new company code. So new entry, let's say VIK1, whatever you want to enter here. It's already there. Save it. test IN. Okay, so company code has been created. Now I can go to OBY6 to assign the global parameters. Okay, what global parameters? So VIK2, I will assign the chart of account, I will assign the fiscal year variant, posting period variant. I'm using standard one, which is provided by SAP. I'm not creating my own chart of account. I'm just assigning whatever is already available. K4 for Jan to December, field status variant 0001 and posting period variant 0001. Okay, so as soon as I create any new company code, if I go to FI NSC underscore ledger, you will be able to see that it is already created for leading ledger. Okay, for leading ledgers, it will be automatically created. So if I go to 0L, company code settings, okay, and whatever is your company code, which is VIK2, you can see it is line is already created. Okay, so I can tell the system that, okay, I'm using this leading ledger 0L for gap reporting, right? But I need the separate ledger for what? For IFRS reporting. Okay, so the one that we created FI, we will try to assign it to VIK2, right? So if I go back, and if I go for ledger FI, the one that we just now created, company code settings, new entry, VIK2 and enter. So you can see system is automatically copying all the data from the leading ledger. If you want to change, you can change. Otherwise, you can just click on save. Also, you have to provide for which accounting principle you want to use this ledger. Okay, so in my case, I want to use this for IFRS. Okay, and save. So which means what I told the system is in my company code, I want to follow GAAP as well as IFRS. Whenever I want to make any postings to GAAP, I will use leading ledger 0L. Whenever I want to make any postings to IFRS, I will use ledger FI. Okay, so whenever you are making the posting through transaction FB50, it will go to all ledgers. Whenever you make any posting, it will go to all ledgers. So FI as well as 0L will get the values. Let's try. So 14/12/2019, and I'm trying to make this posting in company code VIK2. Okay, but the problem is there are a lot of settings which we are not done till now, right? So, but again, in order to understand, we have to do that because otherwise we will not be able to understand. So I'll quickly do it. What are the other settings that we need to do? We need to do the document number range, which is FBN1. Okay, so I will copy from 0001 to VIK2. Okay, enter. This is done. I need to have the tolerance, so I'll go to SPRO, or if I can go from FBKP. I told you FBKP is one transaction which allows you a lot of configurations from one single screen. So if you come to FBKP, you can do the posting keys from here. You can see the document types, fiscal year variants, field status groups. Many things can be done from here. I'm not sure about the tolerance. So for tolerance, I think I need to go for SPRO itself. So SPRO, go for financial accounting, global settings, document. Within document, we will go for tolerance groups, define tolerance groups. Okay, and just copy the one without tolerance group, blank tolerance group, right? So this is for VIK2 and save it. So tolerance is also done. I need to have some GLs. So I'll go to transaction FS00 to create new GLs, but chart of account I already used standard INT. Yes. So in my company code, which is VIK2, I want to create new values. So new. Now I have to use the same GLs which are there in chart of account INT. So Let me select from INT chart of account, INT. So these are the different GL accounts which are already there. So first GL account I want is any expense account. So star expense, right? So maybe I will use other expenses. I want to create this in VIK2. Okay, so this is okay. I'm using non-operating because I will not need to create controlling area and all. Then accrued, this is fine. Control data is fine, and this I'll go with G004. Okay, but let's see. I have still not created the controlling area, although it will ask. New, I will create another one for bank. So star bank star. So these are the different banks that I have. So I'll go with bank 2, VIK2, and G006, right? For bank, no, 5. Someone has made it mandatory, so I'll take this and save. Okay, so now I have two GL accounts, one for expense and second for bank. So let's try to post the document. I have not created. Let's see if it is required, then I'll come again. So company code would be VIK2. Okay, so 14/12/2019. All other things are fine. GL account I will use. There are two GL accounts that we created, so I'll use the first one. I need to go for the company code. So GL account in my company code, and my company code is VIK2. So it will show only two GL accounts. So other expenses, debit to bank credit. Okay, so this would be debited and this would be credited. Okay, whatever amount you want. So let's say 1000. Enter. Let's see what else it is asking. An entry is required in the value date, which is 14/12/2019. Okay, so without controlling, I'm not providing any controlling data. That is the reason it has allowed me to save. But now if you see this document, if I go to document and display, I want to see this is posted in GAAP or this is posted in IFRS. So how can I see that? I have to see it via ledger, right? So whenever you will be doing document display, it will open this display document. There will be two views. In the document, there is data entry view and there is general ledger view. This data entry view is the view which is without new GL accounting activated. If you activated the new GL accounting, you will be able to see general ledger view also. If you click on general ledger view, okay, you can see it is showing you this is posted in which ledgers. So if I want to go for, see this line is showing for ledger 0L. This will only come if you activated new GL accounting. This general ledger view will not come if your new GL accounting is not active. Okay, but in S/4HANA, again, please remember, in S/4HANA, new GL accounting is mandatory. So if you are working in ECC, you have the choice whether to activate new GL or not. But if you are using S/4HANA, new GL is by default active. You cannot deactivate it. So you will always get this general ledger view. So you can see it is posted in 0L. But if I want to see other ledger, okay, so in our case it is FI. Press enter. So you can see in FI also same amount is posted. But let's say due to some reason, I wanted 1200 in IFRS and 1000 in 0L in GAAP. So if I want to make any adjustment only to the particular ledger, I don't want to post the document in all the ledgers. If I go for FB50, what it is doing, it is posting to all ledgers same amount. But if I want to post separate amount to separate ledger, instead of FB50, I can use transaction FB50L. L stands for ledger. FB50L. If you go to FB50L, then it will ask you in which ledger you want to post this. Okay, so I want to post this one to only ledger FI, to only FIR. sorry, IFRS. I don't want to post this particular document to leading ledger. Okay, and then if I just provide the same information here, so this would be credit and this would be debit, right? Sorry, debit and credit. I hope so. Otherwise, it will show 800. So I want to post additional 200. Okay, it will ask me for value date. This is a value date. Yes. So now it is trying to post the document in only FI. And for document, sorry, for ledger FI, we have still not defined any number range. We defined whatever number range we defined in FBN1, that is for the leading ledger. If you are posting any document to any non-leading ledger without leading ledger, then you have to provide the separate number range. Okay, there is a separate configuration for that. Let me show you. If you go to SPRO, IMG, financial accounting. So those of you who also worked on SAP ECC, okay, this is also new for you because in ECC it was taking the next number. Whatever was leading ledger number range, same number range was picked by the non-leading ledgers also. But in S4HANA, the leading ledger number range is completely independent of non-leading number ranges. So if you want to post anything to the non-leading ledger, you have to create a separate number range. Okay, so first is you have to create a new number range using transaction FBN1, right? So we copied all the number ranges first. So if I go for VIK2 and see what are the different number ranges available, there are many number ranges available here. I'll create one new one only for making the postings to IFRS. So 99, maybe 9999, and my number would be from this to this. Okay, one more 9, I think. This would be 99. Okay, so I'm creating a completely separate number range. And next thing is I need to assign this number range to non-leading ledger. So in IMG, financial accounting global settings, ledgers, ledger, sorry, not here. Number ranges in document, document number ranges. Okay. Just give me a minute. I think it is in the document type, not the number ranges. So document, document type, and document types in the ledger. So here in this configuration, you have to specify that I want to provide the number range for which ledger. Press enter, and new entry. What is our document type that we are using? SA. So SA will be assigned to which number range? The one that we just now created, 99. So whenever you are making any posting to ledger FI, if you are using document type SA, system will use this number in 99. Okay, so now if you go back to your transaction, okay, just try to press enter. Enter. If not, you have to come out and try once again. So FB50L, just remember FB50L is to post ledger specific document. Without going for all the ledgers, it will just post into the leading ledger. Okay, so this GL account and this GL account. So this would be debit, this would be credit. Whatever is the amount and value date is. Okay, no more error. Let's try to save it. So it will generate document number 999901. Why it is created? Oh, we have not provided the ledger group. If you kept the ledger group blank, then it will post to all ledgers. That is the reason it is taking the number range from leading ledger. So once again, this is very important. You have to provide this ledger group here. Okay, and then come down, provide this information. Debit, credit, amount and value date. It is still showing the same thing. No document number found for entry view for document type SA and ledger FI. Why? We just provided, right? Have you saved this already? I think it is still not saved. Yeah, it was not saved. Okay, now it will come. So let's come out. Try to press enter once again. Yes, it is gone. Okay, and save it. So document number 99. This is a ledger specific document. So if you go to display, this document will not be posted in all the ledgers. It will be only posted in FI. Okay, so if you go to general ledger view, see it is only posted to FI. If you go to any other ledger, there is no option. No option at all because this document is only posted in FI. So if you want to only how much balance should be there in a, we posted 1000, 200, 200. So 1200 was posted in both the ledgers, which means what would be the balance in the leading ledger? 1000 and 200, right? Mistakenly we posted 200, yes. Right? So 1200 would be the balance in 0F. But if I go to FI, it would be 1400. Right? So how can I see that? I will go to transaction FS10. Can you hear me? Hello, are you able to hear me on the call?
Yes, Vikram.
Okay, I'm not able to change the server. Something wrong. Just give me a minute. Okay, so what we were discussing is balance. So if I go to transaction FS in, okay, and I want to know the balance of which GL account? Expense, other expenses, right? So currently I'm looking at 0L. What would be the balance in 0L? 1200. Let's see. You can see 1200 in the month of December, 12th month. Right? Same way, if I want to see the balance in other ledger, so I'll choose the ledger and I want to see what is the balance in IFRS. Okay, FI represents IFRS. So if I execute this, it will show me 1400. Okay, if I double click on this, it will show me the lines also. So it is saying that two lines were posted in 0L and one line was specifically posted in the Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, yes, we can hear.
Yes, Vikram.
Okay. So any question on the ledger-based approach versus account-based approach? So this concept of ledger-based approach was only introduced in 2004. There are many companies till now who are still following account-based approach. Okay, so it is not necessary that you need to use ledger-based approach, but it is better because you will be having one GL account and you can do the reporting as per your requirement based on the ledger approach. Any questions on ledger-based approach, how to create a ledger?
Yeah, New GL and classic GL is the same.
Sorry, New GL and
GL are same.
your voice is not clear. Can you come again?
Classic GL and new GL are same. This is the question.
No, classic GL was the old GL. Classic GL means when you were using account-based approach, when you were not able to use these functionalities. Classic GL, classic means what? Classic means old and new means new GL. So classic, these were the problems in the classic GL accounting. It was not possible to have the real-time reporting. It was not possible to have the segment reporting. It was not possible to have the ledger-based concept. These are all the new things which are part of new GL accounting. So if you are not having these functionalities, this means you are using classic GL accounting. Clear?
Yes, yes.
Vikram,
Yes.
in earlier ECC we have to activate the new GL concept, but in HANA by default it is activated in system, or we have to activate it.
No, by default, new GL accounting is active. Only thing is new GL accounting is active, but if you want to use the ledgers or not, that is up to you. So in this
Okay.
example, we did a company code. We are not using new additional ledgers, right? Functionalities, whether we want to use it or not, that is up to you. But by default, technically, new GL accounting is active in the system.
Okay. Okay, Vikram.
Okay, if any questions, please go ahead. Otherwise, let me talk about one last thing which is possible in new. And network seems to be very slow today. Just give me a minute. Let me check my network connection. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes, Vikram.
Okay. So the last thing within the new GL accounting is called as document splitting. Okay, this is whenever you will hear this term new GL accounting, most of the time, the first thing that comes to your mind is document splitting. Okay, what exactly is document splitting? This is again a new feature which was not possible in SAP ECC. Okay, so I'll give you the example. What do you mean by document splitting? Let's say you are booking the AP invoice, which means you are doing the FB60 transaction. Okay, FB60, you got a vendor invoice. So there was an expense. Let's say you are getting the bill for electricity. Okay, electricity expense. Cost center is admin department. Okay, or yeah, cost center is, let's say, admin department. Total cost is 1000. electricity for IT department is 200, and total bill that you need to pay to the vendor is how much? 1200, right? So if I ask you what is the total cost for admin department, you can quickly go and find out that the total cost of the admin department is 10,000, because you entered that when you done the transaction. If I ask you what is the total cost of electricity for IT department, again you can easily go and you can find out the total cost is 200, right? But if I ask you what is the total vendor liability of admin department, if I ask you how much I need to pay to the vendor related to admin department, will I be able to get this information? How?
We can create two. We can post in two GLs.
You can post in two GLs. How will you post?
1,000 for admin GL and 200 for IT.
No, GL is same. No, vendor is same. So vendor GL is same. You are saying you will post two lines: vendor
Yes.
admin and vendor IT.
Yes.
Okay. Let's try to do that. Whether system allows that. If I go for FB60, is there a vendor line item? Vendor is only one, and I need to enter the total amount here, 1200. I can enter the lines here, expenses, cost center, but vendor is only one. Vendor line item is only one. When I'm making this booking, let's try this. So let's say vendor is, let's go to our company code, which is ABCI, right? I think it was already there. So this is our company code. I will go for 14/12/2019, right? Sorry, let me try to do it once again. So FB60 vendor. So it is ABCI. Yes. Let's select a vendor. So this vendor has given us the invoice data, and the invoice is 1200, right? Now I'll go to this one. I'll use any expense account, which is 4000, right? Debit amount of 1000 first. Another GL account 4000. This would be amount of 200. Okay, and I'll go to the right hand side and I will enter the cost center for the first GL as, what is that? Oh, we only have this. So let's first create two more cost centers to make it more interesting. Okay, so I'll go for, how do I create a cost center? KS01, right? I'll create first for admin 01/01/2019. Okay, this is nothing but admin department. Person responsible is manager. Cost center category I will use W, which is for admin. Okay, hierarchy area I only have one, so that is ABCI, and it will be assigned to any profit center. So in my case, I think it is only test. Right, currency would be INR. Okay, let me also create one or two profit centers so that again it looks much better. So what I'll do is I'll create a profit center KE51. So profit center, let's say in our example, let's say I am into manufacturing of two products, desktop and laptop. So one is desktop. Okay, so this is desktop. Person responsible is manager, and profit center group is ABCI. Okay, and I'm also explaining you the segment concept here. So we already have some segments. I will assign any of this segment. So let's say I manufacture the desktops at Bangalore. Okay, so enter this and click on activate. Another one I'll create is for laptop. Okay, which is ABCI master data. This is going to be laptop. Person responsible is going to be manager. Profit center group would be same. Segment, this time I will go for the Hyderabad plant, which is Hyderabad segment. Okay, and click on activate. So now I have two profit centers. I want to create the cost center, so I'll go to KS01. Instead of admin and HR, what I will do is admin department of Bangalore. Okay, so name would be admin department Bangalore. Person responsible, let's keep it as manager itself. Hierarchy area, there is only one, so that will come automatically. Currency, I will use here INR, and profit center, I will use desktop and laptop we created, right? So I'll go with desktop, which is assigned to the Bangalore unit, right? Save it. Same way, I'll create a admin department for Hyderabad. So it will be same, only difference would be HYD manager. Okay, hierarchy area would be this one, and currency would be INR. Last one, this would be laptop, right? Save. So now I got a bill. Okay, I want to post the accounting entry. In that accounting entry, 1000 belongs to admin of Bangalore and 1000 belongs to admin of Hyderabad. Okay, which means 1000 belongs to Bangalore and 200 belongs to Hyderabad. Okay, in case of profit center, according to profit center, 1000 belongs to desktop and 200 belongs to laptop. Right, so I got a total bill of 1200, out of which 1000 belongs to desktop, 200 belongs to laptop. But vendor line is only 1200. Understood? Vendor line is only 1200. Let's try to simulate this document. Document simulate. This field is mandatory, so I'll enter this field. Okay, so I can see there is only one line for vendor. For travel expenses, there are two lines. If I want to see why two lines, you can go to change layout and you can bring the cost center, profit center, whatever you want here. Okay, so I want to bring cost center, bring it here. I want to bring profit center. Okay, bring it here. I have to bring segment. Okay, you can also bring it on this side. And let's see now what is the status. So you can see expense line items. I am able to see the cost center. I am able to see the profit center. I am able to see the segment also. But the problem is, how will I get the vendor information? I will not get the vendor information that out of 1200, 1000 belongs to desktop and 200 belongs to laptop. That information I will not get. Are you able to understand the requirement? My requirement is my vendor line item also should be bifurcated. My vendor line item also should be bifurcated as 1000 and 200. 1000 for desktop, 200 for laptop. This was not working up till classic GL accounting. Okay, it was possible, but there were a lot of manual activities that you have to do at the month end in order to segregate this 1200 into two parts. Right? But if you activated new GL accounting, there is a functionality called as document splitting. What it will do is, this is your normal document view. If you come out, instead of simulate, if you go to document simulate general ledger, just keep on pressing enter if you are getting the warnings. Although it is not splitting, but what it will do is, it will split this line into two parts. Okay, it is not splitting now because there is some configuration missing. So using document splitting functionality, we can split the vendor line item also into two parts. Okay, currently it is not splitting. We will see what is the configuration missing. I will show you, but just understand that this line will automatically get split into two parts. Okay, where is that configuration done? This is good. At least if it is not working, you will get to understand how to configure that. So if I go to SPRO, IMG, all these new GL accounting functionalities you'll be able to see under financial accounting, general ledger accounting. Okay, and within general ledger accounting, if you go to business transactions, there is a new folder, document splitting. New means if you are coming from new GL accounting perspective, if you compare with classic GL accounting. But starting from 2005, this folder is already there. So if you go to document splitting, the first thing is you have to verify whether document splitting is active at your company code or not. So click on activate document splitting. See, document splitting is not active here. Not only in your company code, in this complete SAP system, document splitting is not active. Okay, so if you remember, I told you new GL accounting is mandatory. When I'm saying new GL accounting is mandatory, it doesn't mean that real-time integration, this is by default. Segment reporting is also not mandatory. Ledger-based concept is also not mandatory. Document splitting is also not mandatory. What is mandatory from the technical point of view? Classic GL accounting is no more available and everything is new GL accounting. But whether I want to use the multiple ledgers or not, or whether I want to use the document splitting or not, that is up to the customer. Right? So someone has deactivated the document splitting. Even in SAP S4HANA system, it is possible to deactivate document splitting. I will activate it. Okay, so click on this activation. But again, this thing that you are doing, activating document splitting, this has a major impact. Right? So this is a test system. I can do anything. If you are working in the real-time project, it is not like go and activate that document splitting. It is a big project in itself. So if a customer was using SAP from last 10 years, if document splitting was not active, you cannot anytime go and activate the document splitting because it will bring a lot of errors. Okay, so test system is fine, but in real-time project, this is a big project. You have to involve SAP consultants into that. SAP consultant means consultants from SAP company, not the consultants like us. They will be part of this type of project. You have to involve the SAP German consultants for this kind of projects normally. Okay, so although in India also they have the team, but this is not a very small project. If you are activating document splitting at the time of starting the system, then fine. But if your company is already not using document splitting, you posted a lot of documents, you should not come here and activate and deactivate. Right? So as of now, for me, it is fine because this is a test system. I can do anything. So I activated the document splitting. After activating the document splitting at the client level, again, I have the option to deactivate at the company code level. So at the company code level, I can go and see for my company code whether it is active or not. So ABCI inactive is unticked. This means it is active. By default, it is active. Okay, if you tick this, then it will become inactive. So now in my company also, document splitting has been activated. Right, which means I told you the reason this is not working is something wrong. We will try to post this document once again. Right, or maybe let's try to come out and try simulate general ledger. Let's see if it takes the changes. No, it is not taking. So let's come out and try it once again. So FB60, vendor, invoice date, amount, whatever is your GL account. So this, sorry, in my case it is 400. Okay, and again 4000. Debit, both are debit. So this is 1000, this is 200, and different cost centers. Right, so this is assigned to admin, this is assigned to admin Hyderabad. Okay, so now you try to click on document, simulate general ledger. See now, vendor line is divided into two parts. What is this? This is split. Splitting one line into two lines. How it is possible? Because we activated document splitting. So if you activate document splitting, immediately your vendor reports will be available at the profit center level, at the segment level, at the cost center level, right? Otherwise, it will just show you the vendor balance, but that vendor relates to which profit center, which segment, that information you will not be able to get if you are not activating document splitting functionality. So what you need to do is at the month end, you need to perform a lot of activities in order to generate the report based on profit center, segment and all. So document splitting allows you to split the document lines into multiple lines based on the profit center, based on the segment, based on the cost center. How will the system know that whether it should be splitted based on the cost center, profit center, segment, or just a profit center? So there is a huge configuration in document splitting, which is by default provided by SAP. We normally don't need to touch. We only need to touch in some cases. So financial accounting, general ledger accounting, business transactions, document splitting. Here, if you go for document splitting characteristics, this is where you need to tell the system based on what my document should be splitted. So you can see business area, profit center, segment. All three are active. But if I only want to active profit center, I can remove other two lines. Okay, this is from the FI point of view. Similarly, from CO point of view, cost center. You'll be able to see the cost center here. They are not activated here. If you want, you can click on new entry and you can activate at the cost center level also. Right? Whenever you are creating a new GL, any new GL, whenever you are creating, you need to come here. If you remember, we have done this configuration, classify GL accounts for document splitting. Why we do this configuration? The purpose of this configuration is to tell the system what are the different types of GL accounts that you are using. So we are telling the system that all our GL accounts starting from 4 will be expense accounts. All our GL accounts which are starting from 3 are revenue accounts. All our GL accounts which are having number 1 and 2, they are balance sheet accounts. So what is the purpose of this? Why we are telling this to the system? Whenever we are creating any new GL account, we have to tell the system what is the type of GL account. If you don't specify, if there is one GL account which you are not mentioned here, then you will get that item category later. Okay, and also whenever you are creating any new document type, anytime if you are creating any new document type, then you need to add that document type here in this configuration. Sorry, last one I think. Can you see the document? Yeah, here, sorry. Classify document types for document splitting. So whenever any new document type, if you created any new document type, you have to come here and you have to provide this information. So for example, if you are creating a new document type for vendor invoices, there is already KR, but your customer said, no, I want one more. So you will copy KR and you will provide that same information here, similar to KR. If you are copying SA, you have to provide the same information as SA. Okay, clear on this? Any questions? One more important thing, what we are seeing just now, when we are splitting the vendor line item at the time of invoice creation, just remember this thing, this is called as, we closed it or what? This is called as active document splitting. Okay, I'll just understand last thing. I know it is too much for you to digest all these things, but just the last one. So if I go for HB60 once again, okay, if I provide the vendor date, so at the time of invoice, my vendor line item is getting splitted based on what? Based on the expense line items. So based on how many lines I'm entering here, my vendor line will get splitted. This is called as active splitting. Okay, let me show you. So if I save this, once I save this, if I want to see this document display in general ledger view, you will be able to see 4 lines. Okay, so this is an example of a active document splitting. There is another one which is passive. Passive means when you will be making the payment of this invoice, even your bank account will be splitted. Okay, how? Let's try one scenario. So if I go for F-53 and I want to make the payment of this invoice. So 14/12/2019, you have to provide your bank account, which is 200 in our case. Okay, so whatever is your amount, we are paying 1200, right? Sorry, not here, we need to specify it here. So we are paying 1200, value date is this one, and here we need to provide our vendor, which is this one. Process open items, okay, which is the invoice that we are paying currently. This one, right? No. Let's first select all, deactivate all, right? And then we will select the one for which we want to make the payment, this one. So I'll double click on this and I'm removing any cash discount just to avoid the confusion. There is no discount. I'm paying entire 1200. So document, simulate general ledger. Again, there is configuration issue. This bank is showing only one line. Actually, this bank also should be split into 2 parts, 1000 and 200. So that is called as passive document splitting. Active document splitting is when, based on the expenses, your vendor line is getting divided into 2 parts. Passive splitting is based on your vendor line items which were used at the time of invoice. Your payment is divided into 2 parts as a bank account. Your bank is divided into 2 parts. So that is passive document splitting.
In vendor balances, we get 2 lines or?
In vendor balances, if you are going with the standard reports, you will be getting 1 line. If you go with FBL1N, okay, we have still not done the payment, right? So it will only show you one. It will not show the splitted information. So it is showing you one invoice, 1200. Because here there is no option of profit center and all, right? That is the reason it is only showing you one line. But in your reports, if you go for the detailed AP reports, you can generate at the profit center levels. I'll talk about those reports later on. Okay, any questions till now?
Hello, Vikram.
Yes.
Hello. Is there another topic called zero-based splitting? I heard about this word. What is mean this word?
Zero, yeah, there is a topic called as zero balance clearing. Okay, but I will introduce that tomorrow. I can see the faces at least in the class, so I don't know how you are able to catch it. So please, whatever we are discussed today, please try to replicate 1 or 2 scenarios in the system so that you are clear with active and passive. There is third one called as zero balance accounting, okay, which is third topic. You can see here exactly the same thing has happened. If you see this document, when I'm trying to make the payment, closed it or what? Back will not work. I'm in MBL. It will not go to the back. Okay, so no problem. I'll explain that topic tomorrow. Zero balance clearing.
Okay, Vikram.
Any other questions? Anyone has any other questions?
Yeah, Vikram. While I'm posting the transaction in vendor invoice or customer invoice, I'm getting one error related to tolerance. tolerance error. So please create for tolerance groups for customer and vendor. Actually,
Yes,
today I'm trying to solve that one, but unfortunately my system is locked, Vikram. My system is in disable mode. Please contact to system administrator.
your credentials are expired or what exactly? Like when
No,
was your
Vikram. Even my credential is it's a last date for 18, Vikram. 18/12/2019. Still 4 days left.
no, that 18 is showing to all. Even for me it is showing 18.
I also.
Right.
Okay.
That is not 18. Just check when you got the access. Okay, let me check. But otherwise I will
Okay.
try to solve the error at least. You are
Yeah,
getting the
Vikram.
error. Where are you getting the error?
When I'm posting the invoices, FB60 or
This is
FB70. Yeah.
okay. What is your company code?
INFI.
Yes. So vendor, which one you are selecting?
I have created
Finally, you
one.
right?
Yes, Vikram.
Okay, so 1000 and then I will enter any expense account here. Traveling expense 1000, enter, paste. Yes, this one, right?
Yes, Vikram.
Okay, you know how to solve this?
But actually, my
Anyone?
doubt is earlier we have created tolerance groups for already, Vikram, while posting the GL
No,
postings.
there are two tolerances. There is separate tolerance for GL and there is separate tolerance for customer and user.
Okay.
There are two type of tolerance. So you have to go to this SPRO, IMG, financial accounting, AP and AR, okay, business transactions, incoming invoices, and you will be able to see the, sorry, not incoming invoices, in outgoing payments, manual outgoing payments, this is the one that is missing, defined tolerance. So for
Okay.
your company code, just blank tolerance group,
Okay.
I enter. An entry already exists with the same key. Okay, let's see what
Yes,
exactly you
Vikram, have
entered.
created already by using
Okay,
T code OB8. Blank
yes, this
one only.
already. Have you assigned it to your user?
No, Vikram, I have not assigned. Just I have created, but not assigned my user.
Okay, just give me a minute. Let me see what is wrong. So define tolerance for vendors for in fee. You copied it from where?
No, I did not copy it, Vikram. I have created newly only.
Yeah, because many fields are blank, na? That is the reason.
Okay.
Let's try to delete this first. There should be value in most of the fields.
Okay.
Okay, which one is working correctly? Our is working, which is ABCI. So ABCI, copy. What are the other values? I think maybe this some of the fields are missing. Let's try. So in fee and try to save. And then let's go to the vendor invoice. FP60. Okay. Fit.
User.
I think the problem is with the user group. Your user group is assigned to some of the user group. It's otherwise tolerance group was fine.
Okay.
User to the tolerance group. What is your user ID?
SS user 6.
Yeah, someone is, why me delete all this? We don't need to do this.
Okay.
Now it will work. Can you try? My user ID is also there. I should not get that error then. Okay, let's try to do it on. Company code. नहीं, that is वो अलग है. Okay, let me see at that table level something. Can you mute yourself, please?
Yeah.
T043. T043. Let me check this. There is something wrong. Let me check what exactly you have done wrong, because I think last time Chandrika also was getting same error.
Okay, Vikram.
Yeah, let me try and I'll come back to you on this.
Okay. So what about login issue, Vikram?
I'll call you. Sure. Just give me some time. I'll call you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Vikram. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Vikram, one more doubt is that,
Yes, Sugandha.
I mean, we have already created a profit center. In that profit center, can we input segment or we need to create a new profit center?
If you already created a profit center, till the time you have not booked any cost, till the time you have not used that profit center, you can use the segment. Otherwise, you have to create another profit center.
I mean, for this document splitting, I need to create a new cost center, profit center.
Yes. Just create one new cost center, new profit center, and assign the segment.
Okay, great. And one more thing is that I didn't receive the mail for my validation and substitution doubt.
What was your doubt? Oh, sorry. Yes. Okay, just give me a minute. I just don't remember that transaction code. We will solve it now. So just give me a minute. So you want to enable the substitution field. It is very straightforward. There's the transaction code I don't remember. Yeah, see. You can go to transaction GB01. Okay, let's try it together. So GB01. Okay, and what is this? Just a minute. No, this is different. I think this is wrong. It's not GB01. So is it GB01? Let me try GB01. No, let's forget it. It is giving another option. So go to SM30 and use this view. Copy this. Okay, click on maintain. Or you can click on the customizing. So here you can see some of the fields are excluded from the substitution. Which is our field? Cost center, right?
Yeah.
So cost center, let's try to find it out. How will you find the cost center? So I think it would be available in table BSEG, right? BSEG is our accounting table. It is not showing like that. Okay, let's come down. I think KOSTL.
Yeah, KOSTL.
KOSTL is not excluded from here. So let's come down. These are actually different components, not only FI. So let me see the component first. Class 1 means what? Class 1 means coding block. This is fine. B means what? Now we want to see the refers to field that can be substituted, right? So we want to go for S. S. So fields that can be substituted, and within this, you want to see COPL and what was that? KOSTL. It is removed from here actually. Let's try to see which transaction code you are using for substitution. Right?
Yeah.
Financial accounting. You are trying to do at the line item level, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say I want to create a new step and I want to substitute. It is showing BSEG. So why it is not showing BSEG in our case? And you are looking for cost center. Yeah, BKPF. Now it will come to BSEG. Yes, here is B6, so KOSTL. Yeah, can you see this? It is excluded from here,
Okay.
right? So if I include this, save it, now you'll be able to see the cost center. But the problem is this can be only changed in client 400. So I can log in, I can do it for you, but you will not be able to change any other field. And normally even this settings, if you want to do in your real-time project, this needs to be done by your basis. Okay, or ABAP. You have to involve ABAP in this one.
Okay.
You cannot do this configuration. This is a working configuration because you are directly changing the table. SM30 is table. Okay, so here you will go for basic. And within basic, you will go for KOSTL. This one. Okay, so once this is done, next time you should try to do the substitution. Okay, let's try to click on substitution once again. No. Step. Let's see now if you are able to see the cost center. If not, maybe we need to log off and log in once again to see that field. Okay, let's log off and log in. GGB1, line item, create a new step. See, cost center.
Okay.
Right, so in real-time project, if you're not able to see a particular field, you have to raise this request to ABAP. And I told you how they will do this. They will go to SM30, they will go to this view, and they will include it from there. Okay, so as of now, there are a lot of fields which are excluded, which you will not be able to see in substitution. But if you want, you can untick from here and these fields will appear there.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay then, thank you all. We'll meet tomorrow again at the same time. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, Vikram.